Well, several months after the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, Westerners living in China were being rounded up and put in internment camps. The largest Japanese camp in China was allocated in Shandong province. Our reporter Lu Li spoke to a survivor from that camp about what life was like in those harsh times.
In early 1943, around 2,250 civilians from the US, UK, Australia and other European countries living in northern China were brought here. They would be interned for almost 3 years. Amongst them, more than 300 were children. Angela Louise Cox was one of those children.
I was born in Weishan Camp, October 1943. So I was just born there after a few months after everybody was sent to camp.
Angela was too young to remember the experience. Her memories are from stories told by her parents, her cousin, and her friends. She feels an indelible connection to the camp, which was her home in the initial years of her life. She came back for the first time for the commemoration event in 2005.
So many years I heard about Weishan, and then I actually came back. So that's why I'm urging my friend in the Toronto area that, yes, you should come back and see where you were born.
The prisoners of Weishan did not face the terrible fate of many prisoners of war and the Japanese, but they did endure hardship. Sanitary conditions were very poor. The winters were cruel and there was a lack of medical care. But the overwhelming memory for the detainees was the lack of food.
Apparently in the morning was gaoliang millet, millet porridge, probably more water than porridge, very thin.
But Chinese people living around the camp came to their rescue.
The Chinese people really were very, very helpful, and some of them did get caught and got into a lot of trouble. I think there was one man that got shot.
Ms. Cox's words were echoed by Chinese local Zhang Xihong, whose family lived near the camp.
There was mostly a shortage of eggs and sugar. Local Chinese took many risks to smuggle food over the wall. A young man called Han Xiang fell on the electric wire fencing and was burnt. The Japanese left his corpse on the wall for 2 days as warning.
Despite the horrors of war, the detainees were determined to continue on with life.
They made a lot of social events. They put on plays. They were good singers, so they had a choir and they would sing some kind of operas. And then they made the play, and then they used different things to make the costumes. And so they did a lot of things like that.
Adults led classes, set up bands, and taught painting. Teachers in the camp insisted on strict teaching guidelines. Internees practiced a victory melody. They were always waiting for the day they would be freed. That day came on August 17, 1945, when the U.S. arranged the rescue planes to liberate the camp. This building is one of the last remnants of the camp, but the stories of the detainees and their supporters beyond the wall are testament to the fact that unity and hope can overcome oppression. Liu Li, CCTV, Weifang, Shandong Province.